Light bulbs. They're everywhere. In your desk lamp, hanging from the ceiling, glowing inside your fridge, even in the flashlight on your phone. They're so ordinary, we barely notice them. You flip a switch, the room fills with light, and you don't think twice. But here's the twist. The light bulb is one of the most revolutionary inventions in human history. It reshaped our nights, transformed our cities, and extended the human day far beyond the setting sun. And the way they're made? That story is packed with sparks of genius, industrial secrets, myths, and fun facts you probably never knew. So today, we're stepping inside the light bulb factory to see exactly how a fragile glass globe and a tiny metal filament become the bright glow that powers our modern world. Along the way, we'll bust myths, drop some fascinating facts, and reveal why the bulb you screw into a lamp is part of a much bigger story than you might imagine. Before we hear the machines humming, let's rewind to the early 1800s. Many people think Thomas Edison invented the light bulb. Myth alert, he didn't. In fact, dozens of inventors tried to create electric light long before Edison ever filed a patent. Sir Humphrey Davy, in 1802, built the first electric arc lamp, a blinding spark between two carbon rods. It was far too bright and burned out quickly, but it proved the concept. Electricity could create light. Over the decades, inventors experimented with different materials for the filament: platinum, carbonized bamboo, even horsehair. The problem was always the same. They either burned out too quickly or they were too expensive. Edison's real genius in 1879 wasn't inventing the bulb. It was finding the right combination: a carbonized cotton filament, an improved vacuum inside the glass, and a system to generate and deliver electricity. That made bulbs practical, affordable, and long-lasting enough for the public to use. Fun fact number 1. Edison wasn't alone in the race. In fact, British inventor Joseph Swan created a working incandescent bulb around the same time. The two even ended up suing each other before eventually joining forces. Mythbuster number 1. People sometimes say Edison stole the light bulb. Not quite, but he did build on earlier work and make it commercially viable. So the truth is more complicated than the myth. And speaking of myths, here's no myth. Supporting the How-To Factory really helps this channel grow. So before we step onto the factory floor, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell. It's way easier than trying to change a light bulb in the middle of the night when the ladder's in the garage. Cliffhanger. Most people assume the glass bulb is just a protective cover, but the truth is, without that glass shell, the filament wouldn't last more than a blink. Why? Let's find out. We begin with glass. Factories start with long, hollow glass tubes. These tubes are heated in roaring furnaces until they glow a molten orange. Automated machines then blow or mold the softened glass into that iconic pear-shaped bulb. Early bulbs were made one at a time by skilled glassblowers. But today, factories can produce thousands of perfect globes in an hour. Fun fact number 2. The standard bulb shape is officially called an A19. The A refers to its pear shape, and the 19 means it's 19/8 of an inch in diameter, or about 2.375 inches across. Inside, every light bulb is a filament, the tiny wire that glows when electricity passes through it. In the 1800s, filaments were carbonized bamboo or thread. But today, factories use tungsten, the strongest choice with the highest melting point of any metal at more than 6,000 degrees Fahrenheit, 3,300 degrees Celsius. That means it can glow white hot without instantly vaporizing. The tungsten is drawn into a wire thinner than a human hair. Then it's coiled tightly and often coiled again into a double helix to maximize efficiency. Fun fact number 3. If you stretched out the tungsten filament inside a standard bulb, it would be over 6 feet long, all crammed into that tiny glowing loop. Mythbuster number 2. Many people believe the filament is burning. It's not. It glows because of resistance. The tungsten wire resists the electric current, heating up until it radiates light. No flames involved. The filament can't float in mid-air. It's held by support wires, usually made of molybdenum or nickel. These wires anchor the filament to a glass stem. The stem not only holds everything in place, it also channels electricity from the bulb's base up to the filament. Without it, the bulb would just be a loose jumble of wires. At this stage, the bulb looks like a tiny science experiment, a delicate wire sculpture inside a half-finished glass shell. Here's where that cliffhanger comes in. Why do we need the glass shell? If you put tungsten in open air and heat it up, it burns instantly. That's why early bulbs failed so often. The solution was to remove the oxygen. Factories use powerful vacuum pumps to suck the air out of the bulb. In some cases, instead of a pure vacuum, they fill it with inert gases like argon or nitrogen. These gases slow the evaporation of the filament, making the bulb last much longer. Fun fact number 4. Ever wonder why old bulbs turn black inside over time? That's tungsten atoms slowly evaporating from the filament and sticking to the glass wall. Mythbuster number 3. Light bulbs don't actually burn out. In most cases, the filament thins so much from evaporation that it finally snaps. Once the air is gone and the gases are added, the open end of the bulb is sealed shut with a flame. This creates a perfectly airtight environment. Now, the bulb can finally function, but it still needs one more critical component. Every bulb needs a way to connect to a lamp or socket. That's where the base comes in. Factories attach a screw-shaped metal base, usually aluminum or brass, to the bottom of the bulb. Inside, the base contains electrical contacts that connect directly to the filament wires. When you screw it into a socket, the circuit is complete and the bulb is ready to shine. Fun fact number 5. The Edison screw base, invented in the 1880s, is still the most widely used bulb base in the world, over 140 years later. Before being boxed up, every single bulb is tested. Machines run electricity through the filament to make sure it glows at the right brightness and doesn't fail too quickly. Those that don't pass the test are recycled for their glass and metal. Fun fact number 6. The most famous test bulb is the Centennial Light in Livermore, California. It's been glowing almost continuously since 1901, over 120 years. No one is entirely sure why it's lasted so long. Not all bulbs are the same. Some are frosted on the inside to diffuse the light. Others are halogen bulbs, which recycle evaporated tungsten atoms back onto the filament to extend their life. And today, most homes are switching to LEDs, which don't even use a filament at all. Mythbuster number 4. Ever heard that touching a bulb with your bare hands will make it explode? That's not true for ordinary bulbs. That warning comes from halogen bulbs, which run hotter. Oils from your skin can create hot spots that crack the glass. Fun fact number 7. The very first electric Christmas tree lights were introduced in 1882 by Edward H. Johnson, Edison's business partner. Before that, people lit their trees with actual candles, a huge fire hazard. Today, billions of light bulbs are produced every year. They brighten cities, power businesses, and make our nights almost as productive as our days. Fun fact number 8. The phrase light bulb moment, meaning a sudden idea, only became popular in cartoons in the early 20th century, when artists began drawing bulbs above characters' heads. Mythbuster number 5. Many believe incandescent bulbs are gone forever. Not quite. While LEDs dominate, specialty incandescent bulbs are still made for ovens, appliances, and vintage fixtures. So the next time you screw in a light bulb, remember, it's not just a fragile glass sphere. It's the result of centuries of experiments, countless inventors, and a process so precise that a hair-thin filament can glow bright enough to chase away the night. And here's one last surprise. Future bulbs may not even look like bulbs at all. With advances in smart lighting, OLED panels, and flexible strips, the very idea of a light bulb might soon disappear. If you enjoyed this trip inside the light bulb factory, make sure to subscribe to the How-To Factory. It's way easier than balancing on a chair in the dark just to change a bulb. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.